Hello and welcome to this very special interview. Today we have to talk with us none other than great grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, Mr. Tushar Gandhi, former politician and public commentator. So do you think migrant crisis has been handled or mishandled by this government today?
Well, the tragedy of the migrant crisis in the post COVID lockdown India is that nobody seemed to be aware that this situation would arise, and so the question of handling it doesn't arise at all because nobody thought that that was a possibility, especially the government never bothered about it. When they declared the lockdown also, there was no consideration for the well-being and the well-being during lockdown of the economically fringe section of our society, and that's where this crisis has blown out of proportion and has become a grave humanitarian tragedy. The government, the only thing that can be said about the government and both the union government as well as the state governments is that they were just not bothered about this kind of a situation happening, and so they did not provide for it.
So please also tell us, do you think the government is doing enough to flatten the curve of coronavirus cases in this country? I mean, is the government doing enough?
About whether the government is doing enough for to battle the COVID-19 pandemic and flattening the curve, we must give credit to the state governments that in their individual states they have done whatever they could do. The fact is that because we have not bothered about medical infrastructure and facilities for so long, we are lacking in that, and in the time of crisis it's too late to now expect that those facilities would be ramped up to serve the huge number of population that is going to be afflicted in this pandemic. But having said that, I think what they could do, they have done. And about flattening the curve, the only solution or option for them was to impose a lockdown and safeguard or segregate the population so the, the spread of the infection could be controlled. And even after such a prolonged lockdown, we see how fast the infection is spreading in our population. And so one should give credit to the government that had they not imposed this lockdown, we would have been in a very bad situation by now.
So do you think the economic lockdown is going to cause even bigger problems for India if the lockdown is not lifted?
The priority at this moment is to ensure the safety of the population from this infection and try to curb the spread of the infection. So I think economic fallout is not the prime priority at the moment. Having said that, absolutely, the economic fallout is going to hurt India for a long time to come. Not just the damage it has done to the economy, but the damage that it has done to prospects of that economy reviving. Because combined with this pandemic and the global situation, we are heading towards an economic recession, depression period, and we are not going to be able to be prepared for it. And so it's like a sportsman with a handicap who still plays the game. We have to play the game, but it's going to be a very steep uphill task, and so we will have to brace for economic hardships in the coming future.
So Anand Teltumbde has been arrested by NIA during the course of lockdown. What do you have to say about that?
The arrest of Anand Teltumbde is reprehensible. Somebody who has been an ideological opposer of government policies has been treated in a manner of a common criminal. And I think in this the judiciary also needs to be blamed. I feel that as the government was not right in arresting Teltumbde during the period of the lockdown. They should have been more considerate about it. And the judiciary also was very myopic in the sense that they have been handing out favorable judgments and protection to many others who don't deserve that kind of protection, and not giving the same facility to somebody like Teltumbde, who did not have a flea possibility as much as the others have, who have been given protection against arrest. So I condemn the arrest of Anand Teltumbde, and I think the government should show more compassion, and the judiciary should review its stance on his plea for protection, and justice needs to also be compassionate.
Thank you so much, sir, for talking to us. Thank you so much, viewers, for watching this episode of interview.